For the next few hours, nothing exists except for Cleveland high school sports. Because the Quiet Brothers are here. Outlaw!
What's going on, y'all? Welcome to the show. My name is Kevin Hanley. Got my people with me, Eli Robinson.
What up?
Yes, sir. Welcome to the show. All right, man. So, got a good show lined up for you guys today. We'll be doing a quick recap of our boys basketball top 25 list.
Ooh.
We'll be joined probably somewhere around 8 o'clock or so by the head coach of the Trinity Trojans, Dan Urban. He will join us. And maybe a call at around 7:30 from an original member of our high school football top 25 list. But I don't want to put it out there. I don't want to jinx it or nothing like that. So we'll just, if he calls, he calls. And if not, then, we'll catch him another time. So Browns take the L to Baltimore.
Same like it always.
Yeah, same as it ever was. I'm telling you, man, Eagles just gifting the Cowboys field position. Why is Doug Peterson trying 55-yard field goals up by 11? Man, just punt the ball, Doug.
Yeah, speaking of coaching mistakes today, we don't talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, hey, it ain't all roses no more, huh? Odell out there going off on Freddie. I mean, hey, man, I ain't got really nothing else. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is. This is why Chris Berman says this is why they play the game. And you play the game. You don't play the game on paper. This is why you got to go out on the field and show and prove. And the Browns have done anything but that this year. So now they got one game left against Cincinnati.
It don't mean nothing, but
that don't mean anything. No. Don't lose to Cincinnati though. That's all. Don't lose to Cincinnati. I'm at that mess, man. Why is he trying 55-yard field goals? Sorry. All right. So we'll get into that top 25 list. Had some very good players obviously on the list, deserving players, and as usual, and not that there's really anything wrong with it. The people comment and talk to us, and this person should have been on the list, and that person should have been on the list, and
not
look,
not everybody can.
There's only 25 slots, man.
Right.
There's only 25 slots. Everybody, if it was a top 100, we could put everybody on the list. But it's a top 25. And there's a reason why some people get left off. You know what I mean? It's like the Pro Bowl. There's only so many people you can put on a list, although the fans don't vote, for our list. We make the list up ourselves. And again, once we make the list, it's set and that's it. The list doesn't change or anything like that.
Speaking of the Pro Bowl,
yes.
Did you see who actually got voted in for the AFC side?
No.
12 Baltimore Ravens.
Oh yeah,
12.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I can't be mad at it. I can't. Lamar Jackson's going to win MVP. Eli, that man passed for 314 and 3 touchdowns. You're going to have to give it up to Lamar Jackson. What did you? Well, let me see. Let me just take a look. Let me see.
I don't need to. I don't need to hear the stats.
We're gonna discuss the stats. You're gonna talk about 20 of 31. So not 314. I apologize. 20 of 31, 238 and 3 touchdowns. But he had 17 runs for 103 yards.
We can tell that Mark Andrews is his favorite target.
Mm-hmm. Hey man, you gotta have a reliable tight end out there.
Mark Andrews played at. That was Baker Mayfield's favorite target at Oklahoma.
No way. How ironic. There you go, Philly. 4th and 9 at the Dallas 46. That's what I'm talking about, defense. Keep us in the game. Now, Doug, nothing stupid. Come on now.
I'm not, I mean, I gotta give it up to Lamar Jackson. He's playing his butt off, and
even if you if you're a Browns fan,
right,
man, you got to get a young man his props.
Yeah, I mean, I wish we would have drafted him, but we wanted Baker Mayfield, which is a bum.
Oh,
Have you seen Baker Mayfield, like his body and everything? Dude is fat.
Hey, man. Yeah. What you gonna do?
Dude is out of shape.
What you gonna do?
I mean, he's missing his targets, man. If I was Baker Mayfield and I had a receiver right at the end of this table, he like lobs it over their head, man.
I mean,
and the play calling is garbage too. Like, why would you run a halfback pass on a third and one?
I don't know what's going on. I mean, Baker has clearly regressed this year, and I don't know. I don't know if that is really Freddie Kitchens' problem. I mean, not problem, but I don't know if that's his fault. Like, listen, Baker Mayfield is the one that has to be studying film. Baker Mayfield ultimately is the one that has to go out there and execute. I mean, you can have the best coach in the world, but if you go out there and you don't execute properly, it's not going to matter. You know what I mean? Joe Montana was the greatest of all time because he went out there and he executed. Bill Walsh was the architect of the offense, but Joe Montana executed the offense to a T.
It's hard to execute an offense when your coach don't know what the situation is.
Well, you have to execute. What do you mean? He still's got to run he knows the plays, right? Baker knows the plays.
Yeah, he knows the plays, but it seems like he's not executing. That's on the coach.
No, it's not. That's on Baker Mayfield. You know the plays. Go out. You the leader. Go out there and execute. That's not on Freddie Kitchens. Freddie Kitchens can't make Baker Mayfield play good. Baker Mayfield either plays good or he doesn't. That's up to Baker Mayfield. That's up to Baker Mayfield.
What about game situation?
Well, coaching situations, yes, that's up to Freddie Kitchens. But as far as if it's a 4th and 8, and Baker Mayfield is supposed to throw a 9-yard slant or whatever, well, that's up to Baker Mayfield to get the ball there. That's not Freddie Kitchens.
And I'm so tired of them going away from the run. The run is how you scored that second touchdown in that game. The run sets you up for that. Okay? Lean on Nick Chubb. Okay? And everything else will open up.
You guys got a way to go. You got a ways to go. You guys got a ways to go. But oddly, I don't think Freddie Kitchens is going to get fired. I don't think Freddie Kitchens is going to get fired. I don't think so. I think the Browns kind of
his ass right
I think
now.
You want him to be fired. You wanting him to be fired and them actually firing him are two different scenarios. And they've kind of painted themselves into a corner when they said, "Hey, we want Freddie Kitchens here for a long time." You can't keep recycling coaches or bringing coaches. You can't keep changing coaches. You guys do this. You guys have been doing this once every 2 or 3 years.
And all this crap about Urban Meyer comes to the NFL.
No, God, no.
Stop it.
No.
Stop it.
No.
Urban Meyer ain't going to come to the NFL.
If I was Urban Meyer, I would stay as far away from the Cleveland Browns as humanly possible because even with Urban Meyer there's still, I don't want to say dysfunction, but everything starts from the top and trickles down. How much of this is on John Dorsey? How much of this is on Freddie? There's enough blame to go. There's blame for Dorsey. There's blame for Kitchens. There's blame for Baker. I mean, there's blame for a lot of people out there. There's blame for Steve Wilkes, Todd Monken.
Oh my God, that defense looked like Swiss cheese today.
Yep,
chunks and chunks and chunks of yards.
Lamar Jackson
The first play from the line of scrimmage was they just ran Mark Ingram 27 yards.
Mm-hmm.
All they were doing was running traditional running back plays like halfback dives, halfback counter trays.
If it ain't broke,
pitches.
don't fix it.
That's what they were doing.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
And Lamar Jackson is so good at when he goes for a play action play, he's so good at pulling that ball back. You don't know if he's running or the running back is going.
Yep. People, it's time. It's time for people, especially people around here in this city, to admit that they were wrong about Lamar Jackson. They said he couldn't throw. They said he wasn't smart enough. They said this, that. You were wrong. All of you guys were wrong about Lamar Jackson. It's time to admit that. You're wrong about Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson is going to be, he's already a star, and he's going to be a superstar in this league. Book it. Lamar Jackson will be a superstar in this league. Because John Harbaugh knows what his quarterback strengths are, and he plays to those strengths. He uses those strengths. He tailors his offense to his quarterback strengths.
Right. But also, one thing that could hurt Lamar next year is Greg Roman. Greg Roman is their offense coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
Greg Roman is up for multiple job offers.
Absolutely.
That could really hurt their offense.
That's what happens when you're good. Happened to the Eagles. And Frank Reich was out of here after the Super Bowl, and then,
I would love to see Greg Roman here in Cleveland.
Freddie,
I'm sorry.
Freddie's not. If I were the Browns, I would give Freddie at least one more year.
No,
I would give him one more.
No, I'm
year.
done with Freddie.
Because you need stability. You need continuity.
Yeah, but we also need a coach that can discipline his players a little better.
Well, the players need to fall in line with the coach. Period.
Well, they not. They taking advantage of that man.
The
and we don't need that.
We
don't need that crap here in Cleveland.
Then you know what? Then you need to get rid of. You know what? Honestly, then you get rid of some of the players who don't. See, here's my. You got guys like Jarvis Landry, Odell Beckham and Jr. and Odell Beckham going off on Freddie. It's like, come on, man. Because Odell didn't catch the pass on the two-point conversion.
Let me correct you right there. I saw the press conference after the game, and it was actually a conversation between Odell Beckham and Freddie Kitchens. I don't think he was actually yelling at him. The reason why he was yelling at Freddie Kitchens is because of the refs.
Okay, all right. I don't know what they're going to do. This season is lost. It's a wash. In my opinion, this season is a failure.
And Myles Garrett killed our season by doing that stupid act against Pittsburgh. I admit I was wrong. I was one of the people that said that, well, Myles Garrett is right and blah blah blah. No, it was stupid.
Told you.
Now every time when we go against Arizona, for example, they ran all over us. If Myles Garrett was in that game, you know how many sacks he would have got on Kyler Murray? We could have won that game.
I don't know how many sacks he would have gotten because Kyler Murray is pretty shifty himself.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, he would manage the game a little bit better.
He torpedoed the season. He
did, absolutely.
And there's nobody to blame for that but him. He's to blame for it.
Okay. Well, all right, we got Cincinnati Bengals. All right, I really don't care about that game.
That ain't a gimme.
It's not a gimme at all.
They played tough today.
I'm looking towards the off season. We need a left tackle.
Come on, Philly. Come on, baby. Sorry.
We need a left tackle because Greg Robinson ain't cutting it.
No, and I thought they had already benched Greg Robinson, and then
they put him back in.
Okay, they put him back in. They did bench him. Then they brought him back.
Right.
Yeah.
And Justin McCray ain't doing it neither.
They need. I think in this draft they're going to have a decent pick. They're probably going to be
13. They're going to be 13.
Okay. So I think offensive line should be priority number one. Then but wait, yeah. Offensive line, left tackle specifically, should be priority number one.
And a safety.
I think you can get a good safety later on.
In the second round.
Yeah, if you can. But offensive line needs to be the number one priority for this team. It does. They need to go out in free agency if there's anything out there.
Trent Williams.
I wouldn't take a flyer on Trent Williams. I just wouldn't.
Why not?
Because Trent Williams hasn't played in over a year and a half, and he's got bad knees, and he wants a lot of money still.
Okay, blame Dan Snyder for that.
But why would you take him, though? He hasn't played in over a year and a half, and he's got bad knees.
I believe
he's a left tackle.
I believe in him.
There's nothing to believe in. He hasn't played in over a year and a half, and he's got bad knees. This is the guy supposed to be protecting Baker's blind side. You want a 30-something-year-old tackle who hasn't played in a year and a half with bad knees to be protecting Baker's blind side? I would not take a flyer on Trent Williams. I just wouldn't. Now, they might bring him in and kick the tires. Okay. I'm not going to sign him to some huge contract, and that's kind of what he wants. I'm not signing him to a huge deal.
I would re-sign Joe Schobert. so bad. Oh my God, I would say because that man is all over the field. He's doing everything right. Everything. He's going to a Pro Bowl again.
Yeah, but the Browns have a certain price for Joe Schobert. He's not. You know what I mean? He's not Khalil Mack. He's not. He's not some of these really high profile linebackers that are out here. He's not those guys. He's a dependable linebacker. He's a hard worker, but he's not a superstar linebacker. And so they have a certain price that they have set for him. They've got a certain price that they want him to be at, and they're not going to come off of that price. I don't think not higher anyway. And so I don't know. What do you do? You know what I mean? Like
they might let him walk.
They probably will because I think Joe Schobert's going to get another offer from somewhere else, and I think it'll be an offer that's higher than what the Browns want.
Oh, we got money.
Yeah, but they have money, but I don't think they want to pay him that much. That's the thing. I don't think they want to pay him as much as he wants, as much as I think he'll be able to get out on the open market. I don't think the Browns value him that much. I think the Browns think that they can just, they got Mack Wilson in there, and I think they feel like they can just fill in Joe Schobert's hole. Like Joe Schobert is not a player that's irreplaceable on that defense, and I would agree with that statement. He's not irreplaceable.
Yeah, I mean,
he's dependable, but not irreplaceable.
We still got Christian Kirksey, but he always get hurt every single year. Like every year is like a season-ending injury.
All right, update here. NFC East is on the line. Dallas trailing Philadelphia 17-9, 4:40 left in the game. Dallas has a 1st and 10 on their own 25. So here we go. Come on, defense. Don't blow it. I think, like I said, the Browns have their price, their value, what they think Joe Schobert is worth. And I don't think that number is what Joe Schobert wants. Mm-hmm. And so they're either going to have to find the happy medium where everybody's happy, Joe's satisfied with the money he's making, or Joe Schobert's going to walk. He's unrestricted, right? I think he's unrestricted.
Yeah, he's unrestricted.
Okay.
So is Demarius Randall.
All right. Well, it's going to be an interesting offseason around here. Let's just say that.
I would fire that defense coordinator.
I think it's safe to say that Steve Wilkes is probably going to be gone. And I think I don't know. I don't know about Monken. I don't know. See, this is the issue when you let your rookie quarterback basically pick the head coach. This is the issue. Oh, come on, defense. Come on. They wanted. I don't know if Freddie Kitchens was their first choice. I think Freddie Kitchens ultimately got the job because he got along good with Baker. Baker may have put in a vote of confidence for Freddie Kitchens, but I don't know if Freddie Kitchens was their first choice.
Or John Dorsey wanted all the power and wanted somebody to control. It has happened.
I mean, that's true, too.
That was his stigma in Kansas City.
Yeah, but he couldn't control Andy Reid. Andy Reid's got too much clout. You can't. Andy Reid's not a coach that's going to be controlled. You can't control Andy Reid. Maybe that's why he left Kansas City. I don't know. You can't control Andy Reid. Andy Reid's got too much clout for that. Andy Reid is established in this league, and Freddie Kitchens is not. He's a quarterback. He was the quarterback's coach, and he's not. Oh my God, are you kidding me? What is going on here? Why are we not covering Randall Cobb? Come on, Philly.
I wish we would have signed Greg Williams. But it worked, man. Like, he had Greg Williams as the head coach. Then I think they respected Greg Williams.
Yeah, I think so, because Greg Williams has been there before. Greg Williams has been a respected coordinator around this league.
And as Freddie as the offense coordinator, it worked. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Well, again, the Browns had a choice, and I don't know for sure, but I think Baker Mayfield was a little influential in that choice of, okay, are we going to stick with Greg or are we going to go with Freddie? And I think Baker Mayfield was instrumental in that to some degree. I'm not going to say it was all Baker Mayfield, but to some degree, they knew that Baker Mayfield and Freddie Kitchens had a great rapport, and so they were trying to cater maybe a little bit to Baker Mayfield. You got to be kidding me with this game. So I mean, who knows? Who knows? I don't know. What I do know is that me personally, I would give Freddie at least one more year.
I can't do it. I cannot do it.
And maybe it depends on. Maybe it depends on.
Okay, all right, or okay, you give him another year. All right, if I'm John Dorsey, I'll say, okay, I'll give you another year, but you got to give up the offense coordinator duties to someone else.
Yeah, yep. That will
you gotta,
work.
And you got to hire another defense coordinator.
And here's what I would see, but then here's the thing though, you can't. Then they might as well fire him, because you can't, as a general manager, be telling the offensive coordinator who he needs to hire and fire, and I mean the head coach who he needs to hire and fire and keep and not keep. That's got to be up to the coach. That can't be John Dorsey's decision. No, you need to fire Steve Wilkes, because Freddie Kitchens likes Steve Wilkes. If you're going to roll with Freddie Kitchens, you need to grow with whoever Freddie Kitchens wants on his staff. You can't dictate his staff to him, because that's never going to work.
Well, get rid of Todd Monken or somebody, man. I can't do it with this offense. We got too many weapons.
You got to leave it up to Freddie, though. You got to leave it up to Freddie. If you're going to keep Freddie, you know what Parcells says. If you want me to cook the meal, you need to at least let me get the groceries. If you want me to cook the meal, let me go buy the groceries.
Bill Parcells references,
Bill
don't
Parcells
you?
was a great one. I only really got those two. Well, not really. I got a couple more, but those are the two that stand out. If you want me to cook the meal, at least let me go buy the groceries. And so if you're going to keep Freddie Kitchens, you need to let Freddie Kitchens make the decision on if he wants Steve Wilkes back, if he wants Todd Monken back. That's got to be Freddie's choice. All right, let's take a break. We'll get out. We'll come back, and we'll see what happens at 7:30. I'm not sure if we're going to get a call or not, but we'll see what happens. If not, we'll keep chopping it up till around 8 o'clock or so when Coach Urban calls in. So, Eli, take us out. What's the name of the song?
The name of the song is called Behind Bars by Luxury Beats. This is Quad Brothers Sports Show on One Unit Media Network.
Yep.
This is TJ Carey, defensive back for the Cleveland Browns, and you're tuned into the Quiet Brother Sports Show.
It's getting serious on this track, man. Welcome back to the show. Shout out, man. Shout out. Hey, I wanna give a shout out. I want to give a shout out. Eli went out. Not Eli. Reggie went out to a Browns function for his organization, the 88th Street Browns, and T.J. Carey, defensive back for the Browns, was nice enough to do that liner for our show. So shout out T.J. Carey for doing that liner. On another note, hey. I think the Eagles getting ready to lock this bad boy up. 17-9 Eagles. 1:15 left in the fourth quarter. I'm watching the game cast on ESPN.com. You know what you smell that? That smell like first place in the division to me. Like that's what that smell like.
At 8-7, right?
Hey, whatever. I'll take it. 8-7. Okay, I'll take 8-7. I will take that. 8-7. You say what you want, bro. I'll take it. Shout out to Becky on my time on live. What's up, Becky? Yeah, hey, man, I'll take 8-7. That is no problem. I'll take that. You better believe it. Come on, man. Let that clock tick down. I'm telling you, man. There's nothing better than a win over the Cowboys. I'm telling you that right now.
Why is that, Kev?
Because it's the Cowboys. And because I hate him. Griff, my man Anthony Griffin on my live feed. What up, Griff? How you living right now, brother? You all right? Everything good down there? I'm just want to know.
Dude, I thought you said Andy Griffin.
No,
man.
no. Appreciate you, Griff. Shout out to my man Rasheen. What's up, Sheen? Hey, man, look, 8-7. It's the division lead, man. I take it. I can't even front. I take it. I thought Doug Peterson was trying to give it away though. Punting the 55-yard field goals. What? Are you up 11? Huh? Man, just punt the ball, Doug. What you doing? But I'll take that. You better believe it. So the Indians.
Oh boy.
Oh, what's up, Janelle? How you doing, Janelle? The Indians have basically told teams, submit your best and final offer. Yeah, they did, Sheen. Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did. Let's go. It's a good day, man. It's a good day. So the Indians have basically told other teams, give us your best and final offers for Francisco Lindor. I told you, man. I told you he wasn't coming back. This team, they don't pay superstars here. They just don't. You can go all the way back to Jim Thome. They don't pay superstars here. If you are a superstar player, the Cleveland Indians are nothing but a stepping stone for you to come here, play for a few years, and then move on.
Or hypothetically speaking,
Eli, they're not paying him.
Hypothetically speaking,
no, there's no hypothetical.
They got rid of Corey Kluber. Got that money off the books and whatnot. Save up.
That
boom,
money that they save,
boom.
No, that money that they save with Corey Kluber is not even going to come close to what they need to sign Francisco Lindor. It's not even close. Hey, Griff, look, man, the Eagles ain't been much better. So look, I take whatever I can get. I'll take it. But no, they're not. No, Eli, that money that they saved by trading Corey Kluber away is not going to bring back Lindor. They're actually talking to the Dodgers about trading Lindor and Clevenger to L.A.
Well, you better give me a boatload of prospects, man.
Yeah, I mean, that's all they're going to get back is some prospects. And then when those prospects are good, then those prospects will be in line to get paid. And then those prospects will get traded.
Hopefully the Dolans don't own this team anymore.
I don't think they're going to sell anytime soon. Head coach of the Trinity Trojans, Dan Urban, coming up at 8 o'clock or thereabouts, right around 8 o'clock. We'll talk to Coach Urban. But no, I don't think that that's going to happen anytime soon. I can't. I don't see it.
I remember when we first drafted Francisco Lindor.
Right.
It was 2011.
Yeah. It was a good time then, wasn't it?
He was just an 18-year-old kid from Puerto Rico. One of the best prospects in America was Javi Baez.
Yeah.
And then it was Francisco Lindor.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was Addison Russell.
And it's this is just what these. I wish we could do like the Marlins. Like I wish we could get talent, groom that talent, win a World Series with that talent, tear it all down, get new talent back, groom that talent, win another World Series in about 4 years, and you know what I mean.
That's what you're supposed to do, Kev.
No, that's not what we're doing. That's not what we're doing. We're not doing that. We're grooming talent like Francisco Lindor and then saying, "Hey, teams, give us your best and final offers for Francisco Lindor."
Ain't no way.
Just trade him because if they let him get to free agency, he's not coming back here. Just get something for him.
I remember when we drafted Clint Frazier, a big bat, a 17-year-old prospect that was hitting home runs out of the park. But we traded him to the Yankees for somebody else.
Yep. I'm gonna tell you the first thing I'm gonna do when I get I'm gonna have a nice ice cold beer when I get home. That's what I'm gonna do. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna celebrate the division lead. I'm just saying. Look at Carson, 341 in a touchdown. Go ahead, Carson. I ain't mad at it. I knew Carson. Hey man, I said he had to step up. I see. Unlike fans of another team, I hold my quarterbacks accountable.
Speaking of, and then there was a report that Cincinnati Reds were emerging as the contender for the.
If they trade Francisco Lindor to the Reds,
you better give me Hunter Green. If they trade him to the Reds, you better give me Hunter Green.
Don't trade him.
That's who I want.
Don't trade him to the in-state rival. Don't do that. Although, well, I mean, you could keep him. You would still keep you. You know, he'd be out of the American League. Francisco Lindor don't deserve that. Francisco Lindor does not deserve to be banished to Cincinnati. He doesn't deserve that. If you're gonna, he's done too much for this organization. If you're gonna trade him to the National League, trade him to the Dodgers, a team where he can go and contend and win a World Series. Because God knows the Indians ain't going to the World Series anytime soon.
Or you trade him to Chicago. Give me Kyle Schwarber and Chris Bryant.
I guess. Do not banish Francisco Lindor to Cincinnati. Don't do that to him. He don't deserve that. All right. So the Eagles can clinch now the NFC East next week with a win. If they win next week, they're the champions. I love it. But I listen. I get you want to keep Francisco Lindor out of the American League, and I'm all for that. Chicago, okay. L.A., okay. Cincinnati, hell, don't do that. Don't do that.
Hell, we traded Bauer down there.
And Trevor Bauer went down there and promptly sucked when they traded him down to I'm not sure what happened there. He went down there and he sucked when he got down to Cincinnati. I never was really a fan of Trevor Bauer anyway. I didn't really like Trevor Bauer. Something about Trevor Bauer just, might be because he was deplorable. But, that aside, something about Trevor Bauer, I didn't like Trevor Bauer. So I wasn't a fan of Trevor Bauer. But again, what I will say is that you need to get back a lot more for Francisco Lindor than you got for Corey Kluber. They might as well have taken the 2 bags of balls for Corey Kluber.
Actually, I mean, what we got for Corey Kluber, it wasn't that bad. I don't think it was that bad. Okay. I mean, with that pitcher, he's throwing 100 miles per hour, and he's young.
All right, well,
and he's in the major leagues.
Throwing 100 miles an hour don't mean that. Can you throw 100 miles an hour into the strike zone? That's what I want to know.
He can. I've seen YouTube highlights of this kid.
Okay, all right.
And Delano the Shields Jr. is not that bad. He's not bad.
He's okay. I still don't think that was enough for. We
still need the outfield.
That's not enough for an ace, not to me.
Our outfield haven't been great since Michael Brandt left.
This team, it's like Groundhog Day with this team. It's over and over and over and over and over and over again. But there are no results. There's no results with this team. And you can talk about division championships and all that kind of fine, great. Enjoy your division championship T-shirts. I'm not impressed. I'm no longer impressed with a division championship T-shirt. I'm not impressed by that. That don't impress me. That doesn't impress me one bit. Win me. I want some hardware, man. I want some hardware. Do you know that it has been 71 years since the Indians won the World Series? 71 years. That is a long time for a team to go without winning the World Series. 71 years?
Yeah.
And then people get upset when you get mad at this organization and try to hold their feet to the fire. Well, you're not a real fan. Yes, I am. I'm tired of winning the division and having nothing else to show for it. I'm at the point right now with the Indians where a division title don't mean jack to me. I could really care less about a division title. Now, obviously, yeah, Dean, Eagles. Eagles. Sorry, I had to.
Oh yeah, you had to.
Huh? Okay. What your team do today, bro?
What, my Seahawks?
Yeah, no, not your Seahawks.
Team.
Not your Seahawks. Nope. What your team do today, bro?
They lost, yeah.
Okay, all right. Thank you. Had Lamar carving y'all up.
Okay.
That young boy has 17 rushes for 103 yards?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
3 touchdowns?
Yeah.
Right. I'm just saying. My team won. So 8-7 is 8-7, and I'll take that. That's first place.
Another team, the Vikings. Isn't the Vikings in the?
I think the Vikings have already clinched a spot. San Francisco is in. Seattle's in.
You like that? You like that?
Yeah, that's right. Win something, Minnesota. Because the last time you was in the playoffs, you were getting smacked around by who? The Philadelphia Eagles. And then what happened? 2 weeks later, we went to whose house? The Minnesota Vikings. And did what? Beat the New England Patriots in the Super Bowl. Anything else, Kirk Cousins? See now, if you on the live feed now, you could, if you had the app, if you had the Quad Brothers Sports Show app, Marlon, what's up, Marlon? If you had the Quad Brothers Sports Show app, it's a free app. You can get that on the Google Play or in the App Store. The Quad Brothers Sports Show. If you had the app, you could have heard what Eli played in my headphones. It was whack, but you could have heard it anyway.
Okay.
It's Kirk Cousins, man. Come on. Oh, and Greg is on here. Greg is a Vikings fan. Greg, I'm just stating facts, bro. I'm just stating facts.
Yeah, this is for you, Greg.
Mm-hmm. Keep playing.
You like that?
Yeah.
You like that?
No, Kirk. We don't like that because you haven't done anything yet. You haven't done anything, Kirk. You haven't done anything for Minnesota. You didn't do jack for Washington. You haven't done anything yet. Honestly, what has Kirk Cousins done in this league? Be honest.
He hasn't done much of anything.
What has Kirk Cousins won in this league?
He's going to be leading.
Nothing.
Yeah, he's going to be leading.
Okay.
Leading them to the Super Bowl.
Just asking. I'm just asking a question. That's all I'm doing.
Because they owe the Eagles some payback.
Bring it. Man, ain't nobody scared of the Minnesota Vikings. Bring it on. Bring it on.
Eagles.
We ain't scared of the
Get
Minnesota
your
Vikings.
ass whooped, man.
What seed the Browns got in the playoffs? Where y'all
my
at?
Seahawks?
No.
My Seahawks?
Nope, not your Seahawks.
Oh, okay.
And start with the backup team, man.
Hey,
ain't no such
if
thing
I
as a
want a
backup
backup team, I can have a backup team.
There's no such thing as a backup
I'm
team.
a big fan of Russell Wilson.
I was a fan of Kevin Garnett. I was never a Minnesota Timberwolves fan. I was always a Cleveland Cavaliers fan, but I was a big fan of Kevin Garnett. What is that? What I missed? Oh, okay. All right. Okay, go ahead. Yeah, bring him on. Bring him on the line. Plug him in. Bring him on. Sorry, we're waiting for Coach Dan Urban is calling in right now. Did he text or did he
texted me.
He texted?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we're getting ready to speak to oh man, phone fell down.
Man.
My bad. So we're getting ready to speak to the head coach of the Trinity Trojans. So I got to go to my questions. So I'll go back on my live feed later. I appreciate y'all.
Kirk Cousins. Oh yeah, he gon'.
All right. So I got to go to my questions here. I got to go to my questions for Coach. There we go. All right. Right now we are going to go to the phone line. Right now on the line we have the head coach of the Trinity Trojans, definitely consider this man a friend of the show. His name is Dan Urban. He joins us right now. Coach, how you doing?
Good, guys. How are you?
Doing good, man. So you said your daughter had a game tonight? You said your daughter play ball?
Yeah, we had to coach my daughter's sixth grade CYO team.
How'd you do?
They lost close, 11-8.
Oh, well. Get them next time, Coach, right?
Yeah, we just keep working.
All right, so let's get right into it, man. So you number one, congrats, man. You just got your first win there at Trinity just this past Thursday. How's it feel to finally have that first win under your belt?
It's good, man. It feels real good. You know, one for the team because we've been working since March, since we've been able to start working together. We've been working since March, April. And they put a lot of time in the classroom, a lot of time in the weight room, a lot of time on the court, a lot of conditioning, a lot of skill work has been put in. So it was good for those guys to get their first win. And it was bittersweet for me as well. You know, I've been waiting for 10 years for this opportunity. So to get my first win, you know, the day before my birthday, it was nice. You know, my dad passed away a couple years ago, so it was nice to have that.
Now, look. I mean, the season is still young. You guys right now sitting at 1-5, but the season's still young. But what is the message that you convey to your players when the team is in the middle of a slump like that? What is the message that you give them?
You know, from the very beginning, I didn't have many expectations. You know, from the very beginning, it was simply, guys, listen, this is not last year. Mm-hmm. That was a big thing we've been saying. This is a new year. Changing the culture was something we talked about when I first got the job with you guys. And it's still a big point of emphasis for us. And little things like, hey, it sounds silly, but everyone's at practice on time, ready to go. We all have our practice shooting shirts. We all have our warm-up jerseys. We all have the same shoes. We all have the same socks. You know, getting the coach going in the right direction has been harder than I anticipated. Mm-hmm. So we've been telling these guys the same thing. Listen, stick to the course. Nothing comes easy. We're behind the eight ball a little bit. You know, these guys understand where we're at. They're not stupid by any means. They know that we got a lot of work to do. We got a long way to go. But we got a great group of kids. We got some really good athletes. So it sounds cliche, but it's been just keep trusting the process. Keep trusting the process. We're going to put thousands of shots up. We're going to put hundreds of hours in, hundreds of balls the next couple of years. It will pay off. It's just we got to build and develop good habits for every day.
Now, obviously, you know you're coaching teenagers, and you know sometimes teenagers can, I guess you could say, be a little emotional. Do you find it hard to keep them on course during a losing streak, or are these the kind of kids that really respond to your teaching?
So far, you know, I was worried. I was grasping at straws. I felt like after 2 losses, I'm like, let's get this thing on track. But talking to administration, they've been very supportful. They've been great about it. And honestly, I was worried. Hey, you lose 3, you lose 4. What's going to happen? But my whole coaching staff is preaching the same exact thing. Trust the process. It's going to come. This is not last year. We just got to keep working. And we all have a group chat going through texts after every game, win or lose. The comments that are being said in there are great. You know, I look through, I read them. It's the kids are, guys, listen, we know we're better than this. Let's work harder in practice. They've bought into our coaching style and our philosophy of just hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. So even though they're young teenagers, and you know, I can see how things can go off the rails pretty easily with young guys. Right. They've been locked in and focused. And even after losses, last week we had 3 2-a-days. We went 6 a.m. and then after school 3 days last week. Even losing all these games, I had everybody at practice before and after school. Wow. So I think they're all bought in. I mean, I haven't had any issues. So that's been positive.
Fantastic. Now when you're looking for players that you want to trust with leadership roles on your team, what qualities are you looking for in a player when you're like, okay, these are my guys, like these are the guys that I want to be my captains, or these are the guys that I know I can go to when it gets hard? What kind of qualities are you looking for in a player like that?
You know, I'm looking for different things also. It's not the most talented guy. I'm looking for the guy that's been there since March, April. The guy that's been there running steps, throwing up. I've been there with the guys that have been there since day one, like I said, since April. Those are the guys that I look back and say, who am I looking at a captain? Who's my leader here? And it's hard for me to have a guy come in who hasn't been anything by example or by voice. So it's really been my guys that really stepped up. Our couple of juniors we've had who have really stepped up. They've been to every off-season workout, every conditioning program, every lift. Those are the guys that I'm rolling with. The guys that have been there, putting the work in, whether they're the most talented or not. Those are the guys we're going to roll with as leaders.
The head coach of the Trinity Trojans, Dan Urban, is our guest. So, Coach, you've been an assistant coach, and now you're a head coach. What's the difference? The biggest difference between the two positions?
I wish somebody would told me this coming into this. How many more extra things I'd be doing that have nothing to do with basketball. I should have known better. Going through their college recruiting with kids for the last couple of years, I should have known. It's not the basketball stuff that I'm really worried about.
Right. Making
sure kids' grades are good, making sure there's no one messing around in the halls, making sure guys are where they're supposed to be at all times. It's been those things. Planning a fundraiser, making sure pregame meal is ready to go, making sure we're going to chapel before every game. Those are the things. Planning bonding trips and team bonding events. All of those things, as assistant coach, you don't have to worry about. You don't even see how much time goes in.
Right.
Ordering shoes. Handing out uniforms and getting that right was a process for me. So the biggest transition has been just not strictly coaching. It's been a lot more administrative stuff that's been not necessarily getting in the way, but it detracts, takes away a little bit of time from, our main focus.
Now, talk about that, the recruiting process. How much involvement do you actually have in that? Do you sit down with the players and the parents and you try to kind of filter out, I should say, the bad things about the recruiting process for the player? Or how much involvement do you actually have in that?
So I'm a control freak. So for me personally, I want to have control. I want to have a say in everything that goes on.
Right.
Literally from, everything with the schoolwork. That was important for me to be in the school. I wanted to hire me, have a job in the school, so that the kids knew I was there at all times. And for new recruits, kids are looking for next year and years coming up. I want kids to know that I'm going to be around.
Right.
I'm always in the school. You need something, I'm there. I'm here to help. So that's been important for me to make sure everybody knows that I'm there and I'm around. That's important. Like I feel like I was in the school last year and I missed a lot of things. So again, changing the culture has been hard with being there every day and having to work on little things and not just the basketball stuff.
Right. Now you're also a trainer. How do you find the balance between keeping your team conditioned but not wearing them out as the season progresses on?
So for me, I think basketball is an easy sport. We make it much harder as coaches and players at times. I think the most skilled teams usually do the best. My opinion with basketball is this. Listen, how fast can you go end to end and make the right decision?
Mm-hmm.
Anybody can walk it down the court. Anybody can sprint down the court and throw it away. How fast can you go and make the right decision? So for us, we do a lot of skill work. And we spend 45 to 60 minutes every practice just straightly skilling, ball handling, finishing, shooting. So the training stuff, and I haven't been training a lot of guys on the outside like I usually have been. I've been focusing on my guys.
Right.
But that's what I love to do. The player development is my favorite thing about it. So that's been easy for us actually. And both my assistant coaches are player development guys as well too that love to train. So we put our heads together. We every day we call them DNAs, daily needs addressed, thing we have to do every single day to build good habits. So that's actually been pretty good. And we tried to wear them out too much. We do a lot of ball handling. I think these guys get it. They have a good group of kids that are hardworking. I think they understand this is going to pay off. And we've seen it last week getting our first win. I think I translate that to all the hard work we put in during the days before that coming up. We've really been working on just shooting the ball, getting more shots up, finishing around the rim, and our shooting percentages went up the last 2 games.
Nice.
So I think it's working. It's trending in the right direction. The guys all buy in. They all work hard.
Now, I don't want to put you on the spot, Coach, but this question just kind of popped into my head. As a coach, when you hear something like there was a report that came out about the Cavaliers and some of the players' relationship with John Byland, and a couple of their issues was that they didn't want to work on fundamentals and they didn't want to watch film. As a coach, what goes through your mind when you hear that about professionals who are getting paid a lot of money to play basketball?
I mean, you said it right there. Like, you're using professionals. Like, I live, eat, breathe, sleep this thing. I love this orange rubber ball. This rubber ball has taken me around the country. I've met people I've never met in my life. So for me, it's simple. Like, I laugh at these guys. Like, they pay you millions of dollars.
Mm-hmm.
All they're asking you to do is watch some film on your game and work on fundamentals. I think a lot of times, even when you get the elite prospects, they don't want to do the little things. They don't want to watch the film. They don't want to work on their handles every day. But the greats, I mean, the LeBrons, obviously, the Durants of the world, them guys spend $millions on their body. They spend $millions on their development. They watch film. They watch their daily workouts. For us, it's a huge thing, and that's something we've changed also. Last year, we didn't watch much film at all. We didn't skill a lot last year at all either. So I think my kids definitely have got a benefit this year from it, because I have guys telling me, Coach, man, it's nice to see the mistakes that we're making. Last year, they would tell us about it. We never really saw it. It's like numbers don't lie.
Right.
Film never lies. Film never lies. So that's been a blessing for us, and my guys have bought into that. And I can check every day. I can check who's watching film, and I've been blessed so far. I've had guys, every guy's watching 10, 12 minutes a day of film, which may seem like a lot from where it was last year till now. It's been a huge blessing.
All right, Coach, we'll get you out here on this one. So what does it mean to you to have your family, namely your wife, be so supportive of what you're doing?
It really means everything. I'm away from home. We have a newborn. We have a 6-month-old now. I get at Trinity at 6 a.m. in the morning. I'm not home until 8 o'clock at night. So having her hold down the house, having her support me, no matter what happens, it's a blessing. And obviously we butt heads. Who doesn't? But at the end of the day, she's got my full support, and I have her full support. It's been. I call friends of mine that coach and say, "How do you do it? How are you, still married? How you guys make it work?" And
right.
I've had a lot of great mentors around me tell me, "Hey, do this, do that." We've been trying to spend time together, like once a week, where we dedicate time together, even if it's just to talk and hang out. That's been huge too. But it sounds silly, but she's the real MVP in this whole thing. If it wasn't for her, I asked tons of times, "Are you sure I should do this? Are you sure I should do this? Are you sure I should do this?" And every time, knowing it'd be hard or not, she would say, "You got to try. You got to try." So I owe it all to her. I really do. If it wasn't for her supporting me, I wouldn't be able to do this.
Absolutely awesome. Listen, Coach, thank you so much for taking time. And speaking of support, I can't tell you how much your support of us and our show, how much that means to us, and we really appreciate it. We, again, consider you a great friend of the show. And thanks for coming on, man. We're proud of you. Congrats on that first win, and keep it going, man. We'll I know you guys play some home games. I think I looked at the schedule around maybe mid-January or something like that. You got some home games after a road stretch, so we'll do our best to try to get out there and cover one of those games, man. We really appreciate it, Coach. I
appreciate your guys' time, and real quick, more than anything, I appreciate your guys' support. You guys don't have to support me like you have been, so it means the world to that you guys have. If I can help in any way, anything you guys need, please let me know.
You got it, Coach, man. Thanks so much. We appreciate it. Take care, okay?
All right, you guys have a great holiday.
You too. Merry Christmas.
Thanks.
Bye-bye. Bye. Dan Urban, the head coach of the Trinity Trojans, got that first win on Thursday.
That's a class act right there, man. He's a class act. I like his style, man.
Me too. And like you said, hey man, trust the process. He went in and said, "Listen, man, this is not going to be easy," and we don't, we didn't think it was going to be easy. We knew it was going to be hard, but trust the process. And to his players' credit, they've stayed the course with him, and they've they've really hung in there with him. So it's really great to see that. So thanks again, Coach, man. We really appreciate that. So let's do this. Let's go ahead and take a break, and when we come back, we will go ahead and recap our boys basketball top 25. So we'll go ahead and do that. We'll get back here. Eli, what's the name of the song?
The name of the song is called Drippin' by Serious Beats. This is the Quad Brothers Sports Show on One Unit Media Network.
Yep.
This is TJ Carey, defensive back for the Cleveland Browns, and you're tuned in to the Quiet Brother Sports Show.
All right, welcome back to the show. Once again, shout out TJ Carey. Shout out to Coach Dan Urban, man, from the Trinity Trojans for joining us. Appreciate you, Coach, for coming through. Again, congrats on that first win. Hopefully there's many, many more to come for you down the road. And again, I know that Trinity plays some games probably around somewhere between, I think, the 14th and 17th of January. They got some home games. They come back and they're on the road.
Get out there.
Yeah, we got to get to Trinity, man. They come back and they're on the road for, I think, 3 on the road when the kids come back from break, because I don't think they play again until January 4th, I believe. And then they got 3 on the road, and they come back, I think, the 14th through the 17th. They got 3 or 4 home games. So we'll get out there to Trinity, man. We definitely got to get to Trinity because Coach has been mad supportive of this show, and we appreciate it. So, all right. So, hold on. I'm going to bring up the Twitter here and see what we got here. Hold on one second.
Let me tell you something, man. It was bumping yesterday.
Yeah, man.
It was on fire.
Hey, man. Again, we appreciate all of you guys, man. We appreciate you guys supporting us. We appreciate you guys retweeting and, sharing the tweets, sharing our top 25. We appreciate you guys doing all of that. Because, as we always say, man, without you guys, there really is no us without you guys.
Absolutely.
And that's undeniable. That's something that, we take very seriously. And I think I speak for Eli and Phil and Reggie when I say that, we don't take that lightly. We really appreciate all support because we understand that you guys don't have to do that. Nobody has to come on here and come on here and say, hey, let's check out the Quad Brothers.
Right.
You know what I mean? Nobody has to do that. And I can't stress enough how much it means to us. I'm trying to go live my feed here, but I can't stress enough how much it means to us for you guys to do that. You know what I mean? And for the people out there who who support our show, who watch our show, who I had somebody when I went to the Division 5 championship game. And I had somebody just out of the blue, man, on the sideline. Hey, Quad Brothers, that stuff means a lot to us, man. I didn't know who that young man was, but he knew who we were, and he shouted us out on the sidelines of the game. And so, for anybody who has ever supported this show, whether you have downloaded the app, and if you have downloaded the app, please do that. It's a free app.
And join us in the chats.
Yeah, join us in the chats. Anybody that's ever supported this show, we appreciate. Anybody. Guru! What's up, Guru? Anybody else? It's a former coworker of mine. She is the Guru, where I used to work at Cleveland Clinic. That's her domain. She the Guru out there. She know everything. Trust me. She know everything.
Okay. All right.
She's the Guru.
Yeah. Okay.
So, come on now. No, we can't. No, can't do that. She knows a lot about that whole thing. Where I was in that office, she knows everything. Everything. I was always going to her, asking her questions. But no, so for real, anybody that's ever watched, supported this show, shared a video, especially my man Nice, man, my man Josh Ramirez. Nice is always sharing our videos, man, and supporting us, man. So shout out to Nice. Always doing that.
You know, I was on my Facebook timeline, and
I miss you too, Guru.
you know how they have little like reminders or memories on there.
Yeah.
You know, they pulled up 2014, and you know what happened in 2014, right?
That's when we started.
That's when we started.
Yeah, we've been doing this for a long. We've been doing this for a long
time, man.
And we've been fortunate enough, to have a lot of followers. And again, we've gotten support from players, coaches, parents, ADs, that support us, because really without them, especially without the ADs saying, yeah, come on out and you can cover our cover this game, because the AD, they don't have to let us come out there.
Right.
So anytime we get support like that, it's appreciated. All right, so let's get into we're just gonna do a quick recap of our top 25 for boys basketball. We're not gonna, we put everything out on Twitter and Instagram. If you want to see the top 25, you can find us on Twitter at the Quad Brothers, and you can find us on Instagram, the QB Sports Show.
Correct. On
Instagram, and it's also on Facebook, our Facebook page, the Quad Brothers Sports Show. So we're just gonna do a quick recap of our boys basketball top 25, and we'll just run down the list. So the first up on the list was Marlon Landingham. Was a guard from the James Rose Rams, senior guard. Last year averaged 23.6 points per game. Marlon is a heck of a player, and he was one of the first guys we noticed when we started putting this list together. And we figured like this young man is too talented to leave off. And Rose has a few talented players on that squad. And so we had to include him. He's one of them. So Marlon Landingham, was the first on the list. The next up on the list, E.J. Farmer, a junior guard, played last year at Lutheran East, averaged 22.5 points a game. He is now out at Cleveland Heights. And speaking of acquiring talent, Cleveland Heights got a couple new transfers out there on their squad. And Cleveland Heights is going to make some noise this year. I believe they were just out at a tournament out in Vegas. I think Heights was out there at a tournament out in Vegas. E.J. Farmer was the next on the list. After E.J. Farmer, Grant Huffman, a senior guard from the St. Edward Eagles. Last year averaged 14.2 points per game. Grant has already committed to Davidson University, so
Steph Curry's alma mater.
Yeah, Steph Curry's alma mater, and he'll be continuing his career there at Davidson. So Grant Huffman was the next on the list. Next up, from the West Geauga Wolverines, Josh Irwin, junior power forward. Yeah, a presence down there in the paint. Oh
my God! Yeah, double machine.
Double machine down there. Last year, Josh averaged 19 points per game and 14.6 rebounds per game. 19 points per game, 14.6 rebounds per game, and he was a sophomore last year. This year, he's a junior, and we again, you're double like that, that's going to pretty much get you on the list.
Right.
Yeah, I just saying. All right, so Josh Irwin was the next on the list. Next up, another one of those young players who transferred to Cleveland Heights from their old school. Garvin Clark, a senior guard for the Cleveland Heights Tigers, played last year at Euclid, averaged 17.5 points per game. Garvin has already committed to play basketball at the University of Akron. So again, Cleveland Heights, man, is similar some talent out there. E.J. Farmer, Garvin Clark already added to what they had last year. So Garvin Clark was the next up on the list. Going back to James Rose, Amarion Dickerson is the next on the list, a senior small forward, power forward, nicknamed the Big Ticket. Yeah.
That's the kid that Reg said he banged it off the backboard and dunked it. Yeah.
Young man is serious. Amarion Dickerson of the James Rose Rams. Rose is going to make some noise this year. Rose, Heights, I'm telling you, man, it's going to be some teams out there making some real noise. Those are two of them. 13 points per game last year. Amarion Dickerson was the next on the list. Up next, Seth Wilson, a junior guard. Last year played at LeBron's alma mater, St. Vincent St. Mary down in Akron. But he is from Lorraine and moved back to Lorraine, so he'll be playing for the Titans next year, the Lorraine Titans. Last year, 13.5 points per game was his average, and he is already committed to play basketball at West Virginia University. So Seth Wilson was the next on the list. Another young man that we decided we needed to add to this list, Ramel Arnold, a junior guard from the Warrensville Heights Tigers. I think Warrensville's going to have a nice squad this year, too.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I think Warrensville's going to have a nice squad this year. Ramel Arnold, junior guard, last year averaged 16.6 points per game as a sophomore, and he's been going with a lot of the travel teams, getting a lot of recognition and exposure out there. So Ramel Arnold next on the list from Warrensville Heights. Next up on the list from the Lake Catholic Cougars, Luca Eller, a senior small forward, power forward, All-Ohio first team, Division II, and averaged 27.1 points per game.
This kid got game.
Year.
This kid, man, when I saw his huddle video, oh, my goodness. Like, I'm not going to say another Luka Doncic.
I mean,
but he can fill it up.
That's the name that I thought of. That's the name that I thought of. When I saw his that's who I thought of. I thought Luka Doncic. Now again, that I get he's still in high school. That's just the first player that popped into my head when I saw. Maybe because both of their names are Luka. I don't know. But Luca Eller committed to Miami University. So he'll be playing in the MAC at Miami. So Luca Eller was the next up on the list. Next on our boys high school top 25. From the Glenville Tar Butters, Brian Otrix Jr., a junior guard. Last year for Glenville, averaged 21.6 points per game, and again did that as a sophomore. So there's the ceiling is the sky's the limit for Brian. Very talented young man, can really get his shot off when he wants to. So Brian Otrix next up on the list. Next on the list for our boys high school basketball top 25 from the Villa Angela St. Joseph Vikings, Jaden Hamid, a junior guard. Last year averaged 14.5 points per game for Villa Angela St. Joseph. Again, another speedy guard who can create his own shot. And Jaden was very impressive in this other video, and so we had to put him on the list as well. Here's a young man that was really he was a must add to the list. From the Fairview Park Warriors, Luke Howes, a senior guard, last year averaged 22.6 points per game for Fairview Park. And shout out to Fairview Park, man. We put Luke on the list, and Fairview Park came in pretty strong in support of Luke. And we appreciate that, Fairview Park, and hopefully we'll be able to get out there to cover one of you guys' games as well. So Luke Howes was the next up on the list. Next up, from the Holy Name Green Wave, Quentin Richardson. No relation to the pro player. Quentin Richardson, a senior point guard, last year averaged 20.8, basically 21 a game.
Right.
He averaged for Holy Name from the point guard spot, which says a lot about his talent, his athleticism. To average 20 a game from the point guard spot for Holy Name. So Quentin Richardson was the next on the list. Next up, we kind of went out of ways on this one, but we had to add him to the list. From the Sandusky Blue Streaks, Taj Staveski was the next up on our top 25 list. Last year averaged 17 points per game for the Blue Streaks. Again, very impressive on his photo video, and so we had to add Taj to the list. So Taj Staveski was the next up. Next on the list, from the Buchtel Griffins down in Akron, Chris Livingston, who was only a sophomore. He's a sophomore. Last year as a freshman averaged 26 points per game, which is crazy. Averaged 26 points per game, Chris Livingston. But now, he does not play for Buchtel. I found that out. Someone reached out to us and we put him up on Instagram. He is no longer playing for Buchtel. He is playing at Western Reserve Academy now. So we got the card. The card says Buchtel, but we did make the corrections. He is playing now at Western Reserve Academy. So apologies to Western Reserve. We did not know that. Sometimes, man, when these kids move, we don't follow them that close that we know that they moved out of the district or something like that. So yeah, we didn't know that Chris moved. We try to do our research and check and double check to make sure that we're getting it right. But sometimes we miss it, and we missed it with Chris. But again, we were alerted to that, and thank you to the person that alerted us to it that he's no longer at Buchtel, but he is at Western Reserve. So Chris Livingston was the next on the list. Next up, from the Minnesota Cardinals, Chad Rogers, a senior small forward. Last year averaged 15 points per game. All Ohio Division I honorable mention. Chad Rogers from the Menor Cardinals was the next up on the list. Next up, from the Revere Minutemen, Hunter Drent, a senior power forward and center. Last year averaged 16 points per game. Revere has been cranking out some basketball players in the last couple of years.
Oh, yeah.
Hunter Drent, Pete Nance before him.
Mm-hmm.
So they have some players over there at Revere. So Hunter Drent was the next on the list. Next up on our boys basketball top 25 from the Lutheran East Falcons, Nehemiah Benson, a senior small forward, averaged 19.7 points per game last year for Lutheran East. They did lose E.J. Farmer, but they still have Nehemiah Benson on the list. So, and they're going to be still a formidable team this year out of Lutheran East. Next up on the list from the St. Vincent St. Mary Irish, Sincere Harris, a junior guard forward, averaged 20.5 last year. He played last year at North Canton Hoover.
Correct.
Yes. And then he transferred. Now he is playing for the Irish of St. Vincent St. Mary. So Sincere Harris, the next up on the list. Next on the list, I'm going to butcher his name, but I'm sorry for that. Goblahan Audio, I believe is how you say the first name. A senior guard for the Richmond Heights Spartans. Last year, 16.5 points per game for Richmond Heights. And as you can see in the photo on his car, the kid's got up, so he can get up there, make it happen, and get his own shot. So Mr. Audio is the we had a girl from Richmond Heights on there as well, Tamia Ferris.
Right.
So Richmond Heights represented on both lists. Next on the list from my hometown, Canton, Ohio, the Glen Oak Eagles, a senior shooting guard forward. Christian Parker last year was a All-Ohio Division I honorable mention. Christian Parker from the Glen Oak Golden Eagles, next on the list. Next up on the top 25, another representative from my hometown of Canton, from the Canton-McKinley Bulldogs, Kobe Johnson, a junior point guard, All-Ohio honorable mention in Division I as well. And Canton-McKinley poised to do some special things down there as well. So Kobe Johnson was the next on the top 25 list. Next up, from the Brush Arcs. If you know anything about basketball in this area, you know this kid. Yeah. If you know about basketball from this area, you know this young man, John Hewley IV.
Big John.
Yeah, senior power forward center from the Brush Arcs. Last year averaged 20.5 games for the Arcs of Brush and has already committed to play his basketball at the University of Pittsburgh.
Now, let me interject real quick. Now, do you remember about 2 years ago when we started actually following, actually started this format and following these players?
Yep.
And we went to that Brush game. And I said to you, Kev, look at number 23.
Yeah. Yep.
He was a sophomore.
Yep. And now he's a senior. He has been, and I know that John, we actually tried to get John on the show back in the summertime, I believe, but John, he was busy. He was moving. He's making moves. He was going down to Dallas and going to see some of these tournaments and things like that. So he's been making moves. And so it was kind of hard to catch up. We'll get John on. He's a good young man. We'll get him on the show, and we'll chop it up with John. Probably sometime after the new year, we'll try to get him onto the show. So John Hewley was the next up on the list. Next up on the list of our top 25, a senior point guard from the Menor Cardinals, Luke Floria. Last year averaged 19.3 points per game and 7 assists per game, and also excelled for them at football as well. He is actually committed to Kent State for football. So Luke Floria from the Menor Cardinals next on the list. And the final member of the boys basketball top 25 from the Lake Catholic Cougars, Lucas Frazier, a senior guard. Last year averaged 19.3 points per game, was second team all-district, and All-Ohio honorable mention, and Lucas has committed to the University of Dayton. So that is the high school top 25 for boys basketball. Congratulations to all of the young men that made the list, and even and the ladies too, because we put the ladies out not that long ago. I understand you guys are on break right now,
right.
And when we get back from break, I'll just say this, man. If you're on the top 25, you should be watching your inbox on Twitter and on Instagram, because we will be reaching out to you guys to have you guys come onto the show. So be watching for that. So let me go here. I'm going to do I just want to do a quick switch gears here. We'll do a quick summary of see if we can get some of the scores in here that went down today in the National Football League. Hold on one second here. I'm going to try to go back to the NFL scores here and get a quick update. So we'll go back to this was yesterday, not Thursday, yesterday. Houston beats Tampa Bay 23-20. I can't lie, man. Bad game for Jameis Winston. 4 picks. But the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have already they're committed to bringing Jameis back. So Jameis will be back with Tampa Bay next year. Jameis had a pretty good year this year. He had a lot of yards this year.
A lot of interceptions too.
He did, but so did Brett Favre. Did the same thing. Brett Favre would throw a lot of yards, a lot of touchdowns, and would also throw for a lot of interceptions because he had that, I guess you want to say, gunslinger mentality. Favre did the same thing that Jameis does. And I'm not saying that I'm not in any way saying that Jameis Winston is Brett Favre. I'm not saying that. But they have, in that way, they're similar. Jameis threw for a lot of yards and touchdowns, but he also had a lot of interceptions. But Tampa Bay likes Jameis, and they're going to bring him back, according to all reports. Buffalo, almost got New England. Shout out to Buffalo. New England beats Buffalo 24-17. The 49ers got the win over the Rams 34-31. Atlanta beats Jacksonville 24-12. You already know the Baltimore Ravens beat the Browns 31-15. Carolina got smoked by Indianapolis 38-9.
You got barbecue back there, and you didn't invite me.
Carolina got smoked. There's a lot of changes, man. Don't expect Cam Newton back in Carolina next year. I don't even know if that kid Allen is the answer for Carolina. I don't know that either. He might not be. I don't know.
They might be drafting the quarterback.
I think they kind of should draft a quarterback.
The first time since, 2011?
Yeah.
Because that's the year Cam came in.
Yeah, that's the year Cam came in. So, yeah, maybe they should. Maybe they should draft a quarterback. I don't know. Anything's possible. Pittsburgh. You lost to the Jets. Oops, my phone fell down. You lost to the Jets, Pittsburgh. Jets beat the Steelers 16-10. Luckily for the Steelers, the Browns lost. New Orleans over Tennessee 38-28. The Giants in Washington, man, battling out, scoring a lot of points. Giants beat Washington 41-35. Denver over Detroit 27-17. The Oakland Raiders beat the LA Chargers 24-17. You already know them. Philadelphia Eagles beat the Cowboys 17-9. And Arizona beat Seattle 27-13. Look at Arizona. Told you, man, that team is competitive. And tonight it's going to be Chiefs and Bears. And then tomorrow night, Packers and Vikings. Quick recap of the NFL scores. I don't know what they're going to do in Cleveland. I don't know. This season has been, well, again, it's the reason I say they don't play games on paper. Games are played on the field, and there was a lot of hype, there were a lot of expectations, and in my opinion, the Browns didn't live up to any of them.
Well, back to the drawing board.
Back to the drawing board. Back to the drawing board.
But get us a left tackle, though.
They're going to need to address that. They're going to need to address left tackle in the draft. That's for sure, without a doubt. I don't know if they're because if they lose to Cincinnati next week, which is not out of the realm of possibility, if they lose to Cincinnati next week, that'll move them up maybe a spot or two in the order. Right now they're picking 13th. Mm-hmm. That'll get them close to the top 10.
But Cincinnati got the number
Cincinnati
one
has locked
pick.
up the number 1 overall pick. Yep.
You know who got number 2, right? Probably Washington.
Yeah.
Chase Young.
I mean, I hate that it's going to happen like that, but yeah, probably Chase Young to Washington, and then at that point, Chase Young will be dead to me. Just like Ezekiel Elliott's dead to me, just like Dwayne Haskins is dead to me.
He threw
just
2
like
touchdowns today.
Who?
Haskins?
Yeah, well, he's dead to me. Just like McLaurin is dead to me. Just like Mike Weber's dead to me. I'm not rooting for anybody that's on those teams. So even if they're Buckeyes, I'm not doing it. So we'll see. I don't know. But yeah, so Joe Burrow will probably be a Cincinnati Bengal, and then it'll be Chase Young, and then they'll trickle down from there. So the Browns are going to have to address either in free agency or the draft. They're going to have to address that left tackle slot and get a solid, dependable left tackle in there that can keep Baker's blind side clean. Baker needs to really dedicate himself this offseason. I think Baker kind of took this offseason lightly. I think Baker might have been believing the hype a little bit. And he's going to have to change that if he wants to be successful next year. And who knows if there's going to be a coaching change, a change in the coaching staff. I don't know. I would like to see it stay the same because I think that the Browns need that. I think that the Browns need that continuity. I think they need that continuity. You can't go around firing coaches every year or two. You never get anywhere like that. Do you know the Pittsburgh Steelers have had 3 coaches since 1969? 3 coaches since 1969. Chuck Noll, Bill Cowher, and Mike Tomlin. Through the good years and the bad years, they've kept their coach intact. They don't make knee-jerk decisions and just start firing people. You got to have some kind of continuity. And if you're going to keep Freddie and you have players that don't like Freddie, well, then those players have to go. Fall in line or get out. That's how it's going to have to be. So, I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. But whatever they're doing now ain't working. And they better fix it this offseason. Very disappointing season for the Browns. All right, man. Let's get out of here. That's going to do it for us. Hey, man, it is what it is, right? So we'll see next year. This is our last show of 2019. So, I want to thank every, football was how we started off. Every coach, every player that came onto the show, every AD that let us come out to your school and cover your football games, the OHSAA, Tim Stride, and everybody at the OHSAA who allowed us to come in and cover, the championship round and the state championship games. Thank you all so much, man. We really appreciate it. We couldn't have made this show happen without you guys' support. We're going to continue that into basketball. We're going to discuss maybe baseball or track. I don't know yet, but we're going to discuss it.
You're missing one thing.
What am I missing?
This is show number 99.
Yes. Oh, no. I was getting to that.
All right.
Appreciate you, though.
Okay.
I was getting to that. Yeah, so this is our 99th show. When we come back on January 5th, that will be our 100th episode. We're going to try to make some special things happen with that. Some giveaways and some special guests on that show as well. So when we come back on January 5th, that will be our 100th episode. So I want to say to you guys, have a Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah, whatever it is you celebrate, Happy New Year, all of that. Thank you guys for your support this year. We really appreciate it. And we will see you guys in 2020 in 2 weeks. So for Eli Robinson, for Phil Rucker, for Reggie Logan, my name is Kevin Hanley. This is the Quad Brothers Sports Show. Eli, what's the name of the song?
The name of the song is called Hurricane by Serious Beats. This is the Quad Brothers Sports Show on One Unit Media Network.
See you on 2020, episode number 100. Peace.